Hey, this is Blaine Parrott coming at you from That Ain't Black and That Ain't Black Podcast.com. Well, you know how we do it here at That Ain't Black Podcast. We're trying to reach out to the black community, reach out to the white community, reach out to everybody in the community. That black folks do a lot more stuff than dance, rap, and play basketball. I'm trying to reach a wealth of people, especially the young people, to show them that you can look up to some positive role models in the business community, the arts community, and different kind of things. And no, you don't just have to focus on being a rapper or a dancer or playing basketball to make it famous and make yourself successful. And I got two really great ladies right here. One is her name is Toraya Miller. She's from the BSGA organization, and Elisa Bazar from Business Impact Northwest. How are you ladies doing?
Doing
Great. Glad
great.
to be here.
Now I don't know if I messed up those names or anything like that. We'll go ahead and just please forgive me and everything. But I want to go ahead and get into the interview because I want to go ahead and talk about black business, how I can get brothers and sisters into doing their own damn thing. We black people are really great workers. We go to work every day, put in 8 hours, 40 hours, 50 hours, work two jobs and stuff. And pretty much everybody black or anybody in general has when they thought, hey, I can sit back and do my own thing. I work for this restaurant. I can open up my own restaurant. I work for this construction company. I can start building houses on my own, or I'm doing some other kind of capacity, some kind of work. And everybody's thought about I can do something on my own, but they didn't know how to do it. So can you guys tell me what titles you have and what can you do to make those dreams come true?
Yeah, you want to start, Toraya?
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause everybody's done that.
Excellent. My name is Toraya Miller, and my pronouns are she, her. And I work at GSBA, and I am the small business management consultant. And the thing that I most am passionate about is working with Black owned businesses, as well as those that are in the LGBTQ community and women owned businesses, to help them get the fundamental understanding on how to start their business. Because it's great to have an idea and it's great to have that ambition, but you still need the rules of how to get it started. So that is one of the many things I do for the organization. I'm going to turn it over to Alyssa.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you,
Alyssa.
Toraya. So yes, I am Alyssa Pizarro, and I work at Business Impact Northwest, and I am the strategic partner and diversity officer. And so for me, what I get really excited about is being able to build connections and community and be able to navigate all of all of the, I don't want to say barriers, but the existing, okay, I'll stick with barriers
Mm-hmm.
that keep people in their
Uh,
own kind of lane, and try to figure out ways of working together so that we can better support small business owners in their journey. And at our organization we serve many folks that have obstacles that in their journey for becoming small business owners, many identities, many folks with different walks of life. And for me, it's really exciting to be able to work with so many community organizations like the GSBA, which is
mhm.
an amazing partner of ours. So that's what gets me really excited.
All right, we was talking a little bit earlier, and like I said before, a lot of brothers and sisters always work for companies and work for businesses and do really great. Black people are really great workers, but everybody at one point in time said, "Hey, I can do whatever job I'm doing it myself, and I can make this big old money. I can be my own boss." And that's everybody's dream. What can you guys do to assist that to making that happen?
I'll let you take this one first, Alyssa, and then I'll jump in.
Okay. So we have many services. We have trainings and classes, and a lot of those trainings and classes are low cost, and in some instances no cost. And we also have one-on-one coaching at our organization. In addition to that, so that's our technical assistance area. But then we also have a lending portion to our organization. We are a CDFI, which is Community Development Financial Institution. So that all of those words, what that means is that we are able to do lending to folks that frequently can't get loans from banking and traditional financial spaces and institutions. So we really so we have multiple ways of supporting folks in their small business journey.
Sweet. You want to chime in on this, Toraya?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
we complement that in doing, again, one-on-one consulting as well. And I actually am the free consultant, which means that you do not have to be a member of GSBA. We currently have 1,400 members, but you do not
Wow.
need to be a member of GSBA, and you don't need to be a part of the LGBTQ community as well. We work with what we call allied communities. That's what I am. An allied is a person that isn't in the community of LGBTQ, but are there to support and uplift businesses. And that's why we were able to expand our reach to other communities, such as, like I said, the Black community, BIPOC community to be specific, and women-owned businesses. But we complement this through this free, complement the work that Alyssa is doing with Business Impact Northwest by offering these free consulting services, which I call throw the spaghetti against the wall and see if it sticks.
Okay.
So basically, folks can give me, set up an hour consultation. We'll talk about anything around their business. And what happened was I did this for about a year and a half, and it was thriving. It was exciting. But the one thing that I noticed, the common thing that was going through that is when I started to ask more business oriented questions or questions that were related to financial acumen,
Mm-hmm.
I got the deer in the headlight,
Exactly. Yeah.
look over their face. And I went, uh-huh. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what made me think, okay, we need to open up more resources. And so we are now doing the what we call the Business Academy, Business Fundamentals, which is what I had started saying earlier regarding a class. It's a 13-month module class that allows folks to come in and get that concentrated training. It's basically the ABCs of how to start a new business. One of our first classes is this business a good fit for you? Just to understand whether or not you really are ready to take on the challenge of opening up a business and what that all actually means to you. Where are you getting the funding? Starting right there at the gate as to how you can do this. We have folks that are coming. We have a cohort that is 52 strong. 30 are going to be in mine, and another one, the remainder is going to be in what we call our accelerated cohort. That will start in August. That's taking the 13-month and reducing it down to 6 months. So you will take 2 classes a month as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to 1 class a month.
Okay.
So the 1 class a month allows you to be able to take one 90-minute class. Again, this is all free.
Mm.
One 90-minute class. You get that, again, that education once a month, but it gives you that wiggle room that other 3 weeks or even 4 weeks, because you just got 90 minutes, right?
Uh-huh.
The rest of that time to apply that to your business. And you can set that free customized consulting with me, and we can talk about it as it relates to your specific business. The mentoring that happens in those classes is amazing because we have anywhere from, like I had mentioned, someone who just has an idea and just, hey, I know I can do this. I want to do this on my own, but I have no experience, to those who have had $100,000 in gross revenues. They've been around the block a minute. They
Mm-hmm.
might have been in their business for about 5 years or so, but they still want to hit the reset button and come back and learn those fundamentals of what's happening. And the reason why we're keeping it free, this is the big thing. The reason why we're keeping it free is because I know if I've had a business as a Black person, and I know
Mm-hmm.
that if I had money,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to spend it on education.
Yeah.
I was going to spend it on, running up ways to get my product out there. I was going to spend it on marketing. I was going to spend it on trying to get a loan any other way, but education wasn't one of them. So I said, in order to have it be equitable for
Mm-hmm.
everyone, it really has to be free. And
Mm.
also, I started thinking about, we send our children to public schools and we give them free education. We teach them about the ABCs of, how to get started in their education. And that's all free services. So why aren't we
Exactly.
doing that for our businesses as well? So in order to do that, we have corporate sponsors, we have people that are our members, and part of their membership becomes part of pays for these services. And also those that attend our course and take the whole 13-month or the accelerated course get a free membership to GSBA, which gives them access to a whole slew of things. So it allows them to grow their business and not just, stay stagnant. And then we have resources just like Business Impact Northwest that helps them get the funding. Because there's a lot of grants and things out there. Because the other thing that I was saying is not only is the education important, but you got to show me the money.
Exactly.
Right. So
Exactly. Well, that's what it's going to come down to. Let's be real. It's going to come down to the dollar
show
bills.
Me the money. Right. And so I want this to be a benefit. And I think that, this is why the collaboration and working with Alyssa has been fantastic, because I've been able to glean and say, okay, what do you want your people to look like when they come through the door? What tools can we give them to make you be a little bit more assured on granting that loans? And again, banking background, I know a lot of the ins and outs, and that has been built into the program. But specifically, what can we do to make it easier for you to say yes? And so we've been working together in regards to that.
Yeah, really can I just add to that for a moment? Because what Toraya is saying is so important, and it's something that our organizations share, and it's really that we are meeting folks where they're at, right? And it's like Toraya, because of her expertise and her knowledge and her career, what she's brought to this program that the GSBA has created, in conjunction with all the sponsors and the supporters, and then also Business Impact Northwest and all that we've learned and all the multiple ways, like I said, the trainings, the classes, the one-on-one coaching, the funding arm. We even have a loan readiness, department. So if folks aren't ready, how can we, like Toraya said, financial institutions will not help you get there, right?
Exactly,
so it's kind of like having somebody say, you need this, this, and this, and having that be systematized so that folks can have an understand what they're walking into, understand what the expectation is, and also have trusting coaches that do that. So there's a lot. It's meeting folks where they're at, and really, with the focus, like Toraya said, on the multiple communities that have been kept out of these systems, right? Historically, and also I would argue currently, folks from, BIPOC, Black folks, LGBTQIA plus, women, veterans, immigrants, refugees, rural folks. So, it's really important for us to, as an organization, I feel comfortable even speaking for you, Toraya, but we know that that our clients' needs are what guides us and what really dictates the services that we provide.
Yeah, because let's be honest with you, because I grew up, my experience, I'm pretty sure your experience too. You always knew people who were talented. And I knew the guy, he was a really great mechanic. He could down there fix anything. His brother was a electronic wizard. And another guy, we sit back up and he was in the art side big time. He knew all this kind of art stuff. We used to make fun of him. We think he was weird. He knew all this kind of art stuff. But when it came to opening a business, didn't nobody know what to do. Well, how do I fill an application to get a loan? How do I get a year lease contract? How many people do I need to hire? What do I need to do to get myself into the game? Because let's be honest, you see a lot of white folks out there doing it, but when you come from the hood, from our background, you don't know even how to get started. You're really great at doing what you're doing. He was really great at working for a mechanic, fixing cars, and the other guy was really great doing electronics, doing all this kind of wizardry. When it came to starting his own stuff, I say, hey man, you're making all this money. You're the manager, you're the boss, you're pretty much running all this stuff and making all this cash. Why can't you get in the business? And it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to walk through the bank and get an application. I fill it out. I mean, how many people do I need to hire? How many equipment do I need to get? Do I need to get 50,000, 100,000? Didn't nobody know nothing. And that was pretty much the theme among our people. And plus, we didn't know the social contacts. Who do I talk to about buying the equipment? Who do I talk about hiring? How do I interview people and stuff? I know a lot of people doing good. What kind of question do I need to ask them? I mean, how do I wrap a contract? Someone wants to sell this product or something like that. Some guy wants to give me 50,000 units. How much do I write the contract? You guys help out with stuff like that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I look at us, the best way to describe what we do is think about it in terms of when you were going to grandma's house, right? So you go to grandma's house and you know grandma's going to have enough food for anybody and everybody who walks through the door. This I'm
Uh-huh.
talking about a black grandma, by
Uh-huh.
the way. You know, you know that
Yeah.
when you are invited to grandma's house,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have some food. You don't have to worry about it, right? And
Uh-huh.
so we are the equivalent of grandma's house, right? We
Okay.
have all the food. We're going to put the food on the table. And
Uh-huh.
we're going to have that extra food waiting for you. It don't matter who comes to the table. It doesn't matter how many people come to the table.
Uh-huh.
We got your food. We're going to make sure you're fed. We're going to make sure you feel good. You're going to comfortable. You're going to sit on the couch. You're
Mm.
going to let that button go. You're going to watch your football game or whatever, and you're going to be comfortable and you're going to be handled because grandma's going to take care of you. And that's
Okay.
who we are. Let us do all of that for you. Let us put the food on your table. Your job is to walk through the door.
Okay.
And your second job is to invite friends to come with you, right? Because grandma's like, it don't matter how many people come in. I
Okay.
got you. I can make this spread,
It's gonna be
right?
no food
And
on the
that's
table.
what we
Okay.
do.
Good.
We are the ones that put the food on the table. And there are a lot of people that are working with us in the kitchen. We got Department of Commerce in there that's helping us, you know, making this grow.
Mm-hmm.
We have Black-owned business excellence, the symposium that's happening on February 1st. It's going to give you some food. You just have to walk through the door,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And sit at the table. The
Yeah.
food is there. And that's what we realize is that there's so many people out there hungry, but they're not walking through the door.
Okay.
They're not walking through the right doors.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't want to interject because, like I said, my friend's a good computer, and he wanted this guy wanted. I want you to go ahead and set up this network, and he's like, I want you to handle mine for the next 2 years. He had like 16 locations. I want you to write this contract. You handle all this stuff, and he's like, I don't know nothing about writing no contract 2 years to take care of all this computer stuff. I mean, would I ask for $100,000, $1,000,000? What comes in with writing a contract? What did I do? He didn't know anything. He didn't know where to go to. I walk down the street, talk to a lawyer or something. He didn't know anything. It's really great computer wise. It's doing the networking and building the computer and doing all the fancy computer stuff. And he was going there when it came to the right guy. I asked him, hey, I want to hire you to be my computer consultant for my company. He wants to write him a contract. He didn't know what to do when it came to looking at the contract. What should I put in there? What are the details about? He didn't know what to do, know where to go. So he passed up a really great deal. That's because he didn't know where to go or what to do.
Well, I think that the illusion, right, that a lot of small business owners have from the outside,
Mm-hmm.
right, you know, and perhaps new small, you know, new businesses, people who have talents, exactly who you're describing, Blaine.
Uh-huh.
I think the illusion is that they think that they have to know everything and know and do it all really well.
Yeah.
And they think that that's what all success, they think that that's what a successful person has done.
Yeah.
And that is not true,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's knowing what you're good at and what you're not, and having people that to guide you and to do the things that you can't do to help you be successful and do what you do well, right? So it's kind of like, you know, it's again like there's a narrative that exists in our culture, which says that, you know, people, I did this all on my own, I did this myself. Okay, probably not, right?
Yeah.
We know that
Uh-huh.
that's not true. Nobody does anything all on their own
Exactly.
ever.
You can't. You just
Um,
can't. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like somebody, I read something that was kind of like interesting. They were saying that Jeff Bezos, you know, no shade on Amazon, this isn't about that, but they were saying that Jeff Bezos had argued that he built his wealth on his own. And this person said, well, I think no, because if you put him in an island or someplace alone,
Mm-hmm.
would he be able to survive?
Yeah.
And probably not. So
Yeah.
that shows that somebody really doesn't do something on their own. They have a lot of folks supporting them and allowing them to like through their journey.
Uh-huh.
And that is what I think we need to kind of shift the you know narrative to be and to reflect, which is that you don't need to know that. That's for Toraya to know. That's for, you know, coaches at Business Impact Northwest to know. That's for, you know, folks at Black-owned excellence to know. That's for us to know, and for you, like Toraya said, to walk through the door, and we can guide you and we can offer you tools. And guess what? If you don't want to work with any of the folks that we just named, we know other organizations and we're happy to send you there. Like that's what is so powerful about my role
Uh-huh.
is it's not great. Not everything's for everybody. I like pancakes, some people don't, whatever. So if you don't want to eat pancakes
Uh-huh.
at grandma's house, there's a place that makes waffles. I know, we know them. They're great. We trust them, and they got you, and it's having that understanding the support system that exists around you, and that you don't have to do it all on your own.
Okay. Also, did you organization that any service that you give to give somebody kind of coaching and counseling? Because being black and you're going into some businesses, you might be the only brother there. Because I'm interviewing this guy next week. He's opening up his own black brewery. I know plenty of white folks got breweries and stuff like that, liquor companies. But really, he's the only brother in the Northwest, the only black dude. He said he would go to some place. He was the only brother there. And it's really kind of intimidating there. You're the only one walking on in to be like 50, 60, 70 white folks. You're the only brother there. Nobody you can talk to, nobody can relate to. You kind of like, well, what should I even be here and stuff? Like, what the hell I'm getting my ass into, Because it's kind of intimidating and overwhelming, Let's be perfectly honest with you. It's kind of like, hey, you can do this. You may be only the little tadpole, in this big old ocean, but you can kind of like do your thing. You kind of like counseling or mentoring or anything like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just when you mentioned it, Meteor Brewing Company, located in Whittenville.
Yeah.
Rodney and I know each other. I would connect that person with him
Uh huh.
and say, okay, here is a person who started from scratch. He actually was working with Microsoft. Him and his partner started this brewery. They're doing an amazing job in Whittenville. I've even had their brewery brew. I have a picture with Rodney. It's some good beer.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, I would connect him with
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that person. And that's the thing. We have collaborators and people. I think the fallacy out there is that Black people don't have connections,
Yeah.
and that other than sports connections,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have business connections because it's always been characteristic with the white community
Yeah.
and or the affluent community.
Uh
And
huh.
you can't be affluent unless you are in a movie star or a Hollywood or whatever. That's how you have
Yeah.
connections.
Sports figure. Yeah.
Black people have a lot of connections,
Uh huh.
and between Alyssa and I, we can get you there.
Uh huh.
I can guarantee you, we most likely might not know the answer to your question, but we can get you to somebody to answer that question, and trusted people, not just people that are just going to lead you down the path of unrighteousness. We
Mm-hmm.
have folks that are trusted, have been there, have successfully navigated through things, and are willing to spend time with you
Uh huh.
and sit down and have these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you got to walk through the door and ask. So to your answer, yes. And as soon as you
Mm-hmm.
said brewery, I was like, immediately in my mind went Rodney, Meteor, let's connect.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good. Good.
All I have to do is do an email to Rodney and it's done.
Okay. Good. Good. That's really good. Also, everybody knows the last past 2 years, businesses, especially small black businesses, has been impacted with this COVID stuff. And it's terrible. I mean, you see a lot of restaurants that just gone. I mean, a whole lot of white folks went on down. A lot of restaurants where you walk in, you do businesses. The small businessmen got their asses kicked. I mean, everybody knows about it. You just couldn't get your customers in because of COVID restrictions and everything, and so everybody's right now is really struggling. And right now, everybody's begging to get businesses and stuff. Any kind of advice you want to go out there and give for black people who may have started a business 2 years ago and may be struggling right now? They're taking out these loans and stuff. They try to keep afloat. They're trying to get businesses back in, or maybe they took some time off with the COVID downtime, and a lot of people want to start their own businesses. People, hey, I'm at home. I want to go ahead and do something different. Any kind of advice you want to give out?
Do you want to answer that? Because I definitely got something to say.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know a lot of people that's why I started my podcast. I had this downtime, so I want to try something new. I want to try something new on my own.
Right.
So I tried to start my podcast, and I only been in it for about 5 or 6 months now. I'm doing fairly well and stuff. I just started, but I know a whole lot of people. They had that downtime, and they started. I want to sit back and start my own kind of stuff, and just trying to start their own. So you gonna give any advice for anyone who's going through the door right now, or trying to got that idea in their head they want to go up and try to do something on their own?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, they could take courses like mine, or they have to do the work. They have to do the research. So
Uh-huh.
before they say, I want to do this, they have to be ready
Yeah.
to do this. right? And I think what happens is, just like I said, you know, a lot of the business that don't last through or didn't last through COVID, couple of things. They make mistakes, but they're not going back and correcting those mistakes, or they're not knowing who to talk to help them navigate through those mistakes. So then they end up getting themselves in more troubles, or they get the wrong information. I just watched your last podcast with Jake Zewick, and I was like flabbergasted. He was the one that is a Navy SEALs. And the one thing that he had said that stuck with me was you have to have the right mentor. And the mentor that knows what they're doing, because there are a lot of financial vehicles out there that you can get yourself into that will cause you to be in debt and you will not get out of them. Right. So they're the wrong ones, or the wrong road could take you far down. So it's a matter of who you're talking to, and is this information right? Do your research. There's enough information on the internet to be able to get you through and get some kind of understanding before you say yes to whatever it is you're trying to commit to, and know what you're getting yourself into. Go do the research. Go sit at a restaurant, particularly a Black-owned restaurant, and ask them questions. They will tell you what's going on. They will say, oh no, honey, this is not what's happening up in here. And you have to be willing to understand what the public needs. So if you are out there and you are trying to give a product to someone, does the public want your product? That is, you might think it's fantastic. 3 of your good friends might think it's fantastic. Your family might think it's fabulous. And that's wonderful. But does the public really want it? So you got to go back and say, where is the market for this? And then you got to do that marketing research again. You can't just do the one blush and say, oh, it was great here. The one thing that businesses that I know survived COVID were pivotable. Which means they took what they had and they said, this is not working for this time. I'm going to shift it to this for the meantime, because this is where my public needs. Right. So to give you a live example, we had restaurants that came in and they had outside restaurants, right? They doing the normal thing. People are coming in, they're loving it. COVID happened, all the restaurants shut down, right? The government came in and said, you're done, right? So now they're like, well, what do we do? So they started doing takeout. Great. Everybody else is doing takeout. They started hooking up with DoorDash. Great. There's a little bit of cost going to DoorDash, right? So then they started losing a little bit of money. But what they realized is that they were saving money on doing dishes. They were saving money on having to have the tables reset. They were saving money on having employees, you know. So all these different things they had to shift, right? So that they could spend all their efforts into takeout. So what does takeout mean? Your website has to be up and running. Your DoorDash stuff has to be current. So all of that money that you were spending on advertising in one way has to now be pivoted and pushed towards that, right? And then they went out and went to the hospitals. These are the businesses that were extremely successful. They went to the hospitals and started feeding the staff at the hospital.
Wow, that was really
okay.
Great.
So once you start doing that, now you got a whole customer base that need to be fed, right? Because they don't have time to leave their offices or their clinics or whatever to go get food. So then people are like, well, maybe I need a food truck, or maybe I need to be able to just take a table, set it up in the parking lot and make it happen. So these are the people that pivoted and thought outside of the box to keep their restaurants and things moving, right? So these are the things that I would say to businesses is that you got to be nimble, and you got to know what your public needs, and you got to be able to shift to that. You don't want to mess up your core, right? Your core business is what is you. What your mission and your vision is what is you. You don't mess with that, but you do see what your public wants and make those decisions based on that.
Okay, because my sister, she has started a furniture company. She has started she's antiques and stuff. She's really good at it. When the COVID hit her and stuff like that, she didn't even know anything about you guys and stuff. And she's like, "What do I do now?" I mean, I can take it that they can go ahead and get some kind of coaching and mentorship. Like, hey, okay, you started it in 6 months. You got hit by COVID. You got to close your doors and stuff. This is what you got to do. So you guys do offer that. the people right now who been hit, you guys can go ahead. Hey, what do I do? I got this loan. I took out this extra loan or whatever like that. You guys can help them out, give them some coaching, give them some mentoring, and hey, what do you do to stay afloat? Because I know a lot of businesses, especially a lot of black businesses, were hit by COVID. So you guys offer services also for those people right now who are already ownership, already in this. So you guys can help them out.
Absolutely, absolutely. We work with idea phase, startup phase, and also established businesses. So, wherever your business journey is at, we work with.
Uh-huh.
Um, you know, I I would venture to say that most of the businesses that are coming to Business Impact Northwest are kind of grappling with exactly what you're speaking about, Blaine,
Uh-huh.
because COVID, here we are going into our third year, it's like
Yeah, it lasted
it's
a long
it's kind of
time.
happening. So yeah, I think that, to your point, knowing that like Toraya had said, knowing the resources are out there and really understanding what resources are there. What COVID did for many of us, and not just small businesses, but did for us as a society,
Uh-huh.
and was kind of show our weaknesses, right? And
Uh-huh.
in so many ways. So, like Toraya had said, if you are not able to be nimble, if
Mm-hmm.
you were, paycheck to paycheck, paying, as funds were coming in, you're paying people, the money's going through you, and you're
Uh-huh.
not able to have any savings for your business, and all of the things that, were kind of like patchwork together. A lot of folks didn't have websites, like
Mm-hmm.
Toraya said. Like a
Exactly.
lot
Yeah.
of small businesses, it wasn't a thing. And it's like, if you're not nimble and you're not able to not only be able to figure out what your needs are, say, I don't even know what I need. I should find somebody that knows,
Yeah.
whether it's a mentor or an organization like GSBA and Business Impact Northwest and the many others. Then it was probably a really hard time. And
Yeah.
you're saying we need, the money is real,
Uh-huh.
right? So it's like, if you have a lot of debt in your business and suddenly you needed loans, you know Teray was in the financial industry. I could tell you, people see a ton of debt, and it's like, there's really, at that point, there's really not a whole lot that folks can do for you. So it's getting ahead of that, and kind of keeping your business up to speed and not falling onto habits that might have been able to be kind of shoved under the rug in the past, right?
Yeah. Okay, I want to ask a really kind of not stupid question, really great question. Are you guys going to do something for like the younger people? Because, like I said, when I grew up, like, hey, you want to go to school, get an education, get you a good job. And that was it. That's what it was told us. Like, but no one ever say, hey, Blaine, you want to go to school, get an education, and start your own business. I want to start getting people when they're 17, 18, and stuff. Okay, fine. You want to go to school, get your education, get that degree. You want to get a good job, but let's be real. You don't have to have your biggest goal in life is to get you a good job. Cause that's what I told to a lot of brothers. You just get you a good job, shut your ass up, and keep on working when you retirement. Oh, nah. You sit back, go ahead, learn what they learn. Go and get 2 or 3 years under your belt, learn what they doing, and go ahead and bounce off and start your own stuff. Or you guys trying to go into the colleges or maybe go to the high school? Because you want to start them young and stuff. Because a lot of, like I said, a lot of white folks, they sit back because they got mommy and daddy to sit back and tell them when they was younger and stuff. This is what you do, this is how the business is, and how you do it, and this is how you get this loan, this is how you talk to, this is you do advertising. Now it's the web and everything. This is how you want to build your website. This is what you want to do. And they've been doing it. You sit back and see all these success stories about these kids right now. They're 18 and 20 and they got their own web business. They're doing something on the web. They're making big old money doing their own thing. But they had that influence from their moms and dads that we don't have. No one ever told me when I was younger going to high school. My biggest thing was go ahead, go to school, get you educated, get you some job training, get you a job, shut your ass on up, and retire. And that was the biggest thing. Let's be honest with you. Like, hey, you got you a good job. You don't want to leave that job. No, no, don't do that. You got you a good job. You're making the big old money. You got them steaks and shrimps in the fridge, and you go ahead, you stay there. That's what I talk to a lot of black people. You guys are trying to target people in college and high school or anything like that?
Well, I actually am on the board of trustees for Everett Community
Uh
College.
huh.
So I know that there are programs in our college that address that. But I would love to have the opportunity to have these conversations with kids that are in high schools and even middle schools.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's kind of like one of my dreams on the next level. I mean, getting this class was a
Uh-huh.
dream. I've been working
Yeah.
on trying to get this done for
Uh-huh.
20 years,
Yeah.
right? But and thank the Lord for GSBA that said, hey, yes, let's do this.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's the next thing. That's the next venture, is to go back into the schools and do this, because this, when I was going to school, there was home ec classes. There was all these different business classes. There was classes on how to, figure out a checkbook, although that doesn't exist really anymore.
Yeah.
But, all these different things that were available to us that are not there anymore.
Yeah.
Because kids are walking around in their phones,
Exactly.
and so they're forgetting that there are certain fundamentals, going back to that word, that need to help you navigate through just everything. There's two things that America has had consistently from day one. That is real estate,
Yeah.
and business.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that have survived from point A and is still in existence today. So why aren't we doing this in our schools? Why aren't we having business classes again? They used to have junior achievement. Well, junior achievement was great for what it stood for, and I took a junior achievement class. But to really sit down and talk about, here, let's start your business. They did a product and you did this thing, but it didn't really say to me, as I'm talking about my experience. My experience going through that wasn't, I'm going to start my own business. It was still ingrained in me. Graduate, go to college, go work for somebody, retire, make sure you have a 401k.
Exactly. Yeah.
These were the things that were told to me.
Yeah.
I wish someone would have grabbed me back then and said, you don't have to do all of that. What you can do is start your business right now, today. There was a little girl, I kid you not, she's 10 years old, that made these, what I call ascots. There are things that you can slide in here, and it had a Velcro.
Yeah.
And you put it between your shirt, and so you could close up, and it makes it look all beautiful, right? So you could have on a tank top, you could have on a t-shirt, you could have nothing on underneath your jacket, but you put this ascot on, and it made it look all fresh and new. And it was just a Velcro. And how she discovered this is her mom made clothing and designed all these dresses. Well, she had all this leftover material. And so she would take this leftover material, do some pleats in it, put a Velcro on it, and sold this. She was making mad dollars. Each one of those ascots was $35. I bought 5 of them. I was like, Chad, I'm going to put you through college. Because each one of them was a one of a kind. In other words, because they were scrap material, once you were done with them, you couldn't get it again.
Exactly.
So I have 5 of them that I know nobody else is going to have, because once they're all sold out, right? And I said, this is a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
With little puff, power puff, type afro going on. Cute little thing. She's now 12, 13, she's older now, but at the time. And so if someone grabbed her and sat her down and said, okay, let's talk about how we're going to make this a business and get it out there. Imagine what we could do with the children that are 10 and 11 times 30 in one class.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. We do we have our CEO is also does some teaching at the University of Washington, and we do have some folks on our staff that are also connected to colleges, and we do serve, typically starting at 18 years old. But everything that you're speaking about, Blaine, I know you are, and Toraya, you both are correct. I mean, learning about this younger, and I could, if we had an extra hour, I could get on my soapbox and talk about how I'm sure it's intentional that we don't learn about these things at a young age in schools, right? But anyway, with that aside, there is absolutely an opportunity. I know that it's something that, to be honest, I've been hearing more and more about it being part of the conversation as I speak to folks out in community. And so I think that I don't know where it's going to come from, but I think it's going to be coming soon.
Yeah, because I know my boy Rick, he does a lot of car stuff. And, guys in the cars big time. And guys, they sell these used car rims and car parts and stuff. And he's kind of like his brother. He does it from home from his computer and stuff. It's kind of like an eBay of car parts. and he started at he did this over the COVID stuff because he grew up with cars and stuff like that, and the guy's always selling. He kind of like has his own marketplace. He's making a lot of money from his computer at home. So I ran into him. And I thought he's still in the car, but he said, "No, I'm making money doing my car stuff. I'm doing it on the computer." He's at home making like six figures doing this stuff, kind of like eBay or used car rims and stereo and all this kind of stuff. And I like, damn, brother, he's doing it big time, doing it good too. And they wouldn't have known and stuff. He's a young brother and stuff, and he's really good at it. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to influence people like that to get into. He's only like 22. When I was 22, I was just working, and I didn't know nothing about starting my own business. I wasn't even thinking about starting my own business. And he's really doing the good. And he's really successful. Got his own Facebook and Instagram, and he's on, doing his own thing. And also, this last question I want to ask before we go ahead and wrap this up: what about trying to get some white folks into buying stuff from black business? Now, it's really nice with everything with maybe people nowadays, they're woke and everything. They're shaking hands and kissing and hugging, all that kind of stuff. But let's go ahead and get some white folks and get them green dollars, okay? You want to sit make some reparations and stuff, go ahead and give us some business. We're not looking for no handout, but you're definitely looking for some help. We're definitely looking for your businesses. What kind of stuff you like, hey, what could, if a white audience members out there looking at, hey, what can I sit back up and then try to do to buy stuff from these black businesses? Any kind of help with that?
I mean, a couple of things come to mind, and again, it goes back to, and this is what came immediately to mind. So I'm excited to hear Toraya's response. But
Yeah.
I think about how on our website for Business Impact Northwest, we have a directory that you can see businesses that we've worked with, and they're so that's one way to find. For folks to find businesses of many different identities, including Black businesses. And so, and then I also think about one of our partners called The Intentionalist, which is a phenomenal website where you can actually type into this website and find, again, multiple identities. But Laura Kleiss, who is the founder, she made it so that you can look up businesses based on, you can type in Black small business or Black businesses, and it'll show you in an area. Originally, it started out in Seattle, and I think that it's expanded actually even outside of Washington State. So I think that she's made it her goal to be able to to lift up underrepresented small businesses.
Yeah.
So those are the two that come to mind. I mean, also, their neighborhoods, I think that speaking to people around you, if you are, like you said, Blaine, hugging people and like everyone's woke and the
you
whole
can sit
thing.
back, hug and shake my hand,
Trust me, I don't want
sing
somebody
kumbaya, but that's only gonna go so far. Because I'm asking this because I know I'll give you an example. My friend, he was a real estate broker, and he put his picture up, and like he didn't want to get too many calls. He took his picture off, and next thing you know, he getting flooded with different calls because it's Ron Sims. They thought he was a white guy. He shows on up, is his brother doing this stuff? He's like, ooh, what's going on here? He's like, brother selling $1 million houses. I don't know about this, But it was true. He said he put his picture up, and he got his face up there, big black face up there, and next thing you know, the dwindling in. But when he took that picture on off, next thing you know, he get all these calls from left and right. What the hell's going on here?
Well, I'm not at 7 million, but I've been there with my name. So, but I can tell you this, that what I want to make sure to say though, after saying you can speak to community members, is I'm not suggesting that white folks walk up to somebody they think is Black and say, where can I shop? So I just want to make sure that I say that. But anyway, Toraya, I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes, that's hilarious.
A lot of people don't think of us in that capacity. That's what I'm trying to say. A lot of people, they think, oh, well, I ain't got no problem watching no brothers dance or nothing like that on TV. I ain't got no problem watching them play basketball. When it comes to business, that might be another thing, Trying to break down that intimidation factor, or that ignorance, or the stereotypes, or whatever, that you don't want to do business with some Black folks.
Well, to that
Mm.
I say there's a couple of things I have to say. One, another website is the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle is another great one to tap
Uh,
into and find out if there's other business. In fact, Meteor is on there. The other thing I want to say is the only way that we as the community, the Black community, need to
uh,
support each other. We
exactly,
need to go
exactly.
to these. We need to go to these businesses, and the reason why I have a picture of him and no Rodney is because I walked in and said I want to meet the owner, and
Uh-huh.
I want to take a picture, and I want to post this picture on social media.
Uh-huh.
Right. So I took along some of my board members and had them stand next to me, and we were all black and shiny,
Uh-huh.
and took these pictures. Right.
Uh-huh.
And so I think we have to do that. We have to uplift each other so
Uh-huh.
that people won't have a choice but to see us,
Yeah.
right? They won't have that thing. But you're right. Until we do so, until we become large, yeah, our pictures need to come down for a minute to get started. I remember my mama,
Mm.
I take a lot of advice from my mom because she's been there and done that, and
Uh-huh.
her career is amazing.
Uh-huh.
But one of the things said when I was trying to sell my house, my husband and I were trying to sell the house. She said the first thing you need to do is take down all your family pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. This
Clear
is
the house of all
real.
your pictures.
Yeah. This is
And she goes,
real.
and you need to be missing when they come through the house.
Exactly.
You don't want to be there.
Exactly.
And I mentioned this to the realtor, and the
Uh-huh.
realtor said to me, she's absolutely right. I
Yeah.
couldn't say that to you, but she's absolutely right. So we had a thing that they would
Mhm.
call me an hour beforehand, and we would scoop up. I had an infant at the time. We would scoop up everybody out the house. We would go. We go down the street or what have you. When they were done, we come back.
Yeah.
Right. Sold our house in 2 weeks.
Mhm. Yeah, there's no doubt because they had an actual lawsuit. I guess this couple, they hired someone to come out and give them a consultation on how much their house costs, and so they could sell the house. It went for like they come out, they seen it was black, and they said 200,000. So he got his buddy next door and said, "Hey man, do me a favor, come next door and say you want to sell the house and stuff like that." And he came back and it went up like 100 grand. From 200,000, they got appraised when they see the white guy was doing it to 100 grand. Now, that ain't nothing to laugh at. Come on here, $100,000. This is an actual law, so you can sit back and look it up online. And I'm not lying. And also, when you sit back with real estate, they did have lawsuits in the past because of that. And it's a bad joke and stuff, but it's true. And they people went to
Yeah.
court and they won and stuff like, come on, just because the people are black? Oh my God, really? Like I
They did
said,
the
this
whole
one woman put in for the application. Her name was Chantel, whatever, and she changed her name to Sherry or something like that. The loan went through because it sounded like white. It sounded like a white name instead of La Chantel. She put Chantel or something like that, and the loan went through. Like, wait a minute, I put in like 5 or 6 applications to get this loan. Nothing's happening. I sat back and changed one letter on my name. Next thing I know, I get 5 or 6 acceptance letters. What's going on here?
yeah.
Mhm.
The
And
city
yeah,
guys like ours are really important for many reasons, and a lot of them revolve around the structures that you're kind of speaking about, Blaine, when it comes to loans and lending and
yeah,
systems that exist. It, you know, and also, it's wild because exactly what you're speaking about as far as housing in Toraya, when we
housing and loans also for business loans too. They had a couple of lawsuits. They found out the brothers were getting dogged out. They
yeah
had good credit and everything like that, and it came down to, well, this person's name, this must be a black person or something like that. And they were getting their houses foreclosed on. They were getting turned out for business loans and all kinds of stuff, refinancing, because it was pretty much, it came down, they were black. And this is the real thing. This is not no joke. This is the real serious situation. And this is affecting black Americans. Like the example that I gave you when the guy came over and his white neighbors sat back and said, "Hey, this is my house. I want to sell it." The appraiser came back. They got another appraiser. It went up like $50,000 to $100,000. That ain't nothing to laugh at. Come on here. Especially you selling your house. I'm a homeowner. I know that. I'd be pissed off. I'm losing out to $50,000 to $100,000 just because I'm black. Really? Seriously? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
they did a whole episode for the last OG. I don't know if you watched that, but they did something. They did that. It's a Tracy Morgan. He
Yeah.
does. They did an episode exactly on that point.
Yeah.
The evaluation and of his mother-in-law's house. But yeah, it's trusting financial institutions. It exactly for what you're speaking about, Blaine, is not easy.
Yeah.
And so, and it's it's where we operate in right now. So being able to navigate it, and also to be able to step into, not just us as a CDFI, but maybe if you have a credit union, or a relationship with a bank, someone at a bank. But a lot of folks are able to work with people directly, and that allows them to feel more comfortable. And that's the difference, among other things. There's lending standards and things like that, that specifics that make CDFIs and oftentimes credit unions different. But you're right. You're absolutely right. It's truth.
I'm a firm believer that, honestly, we have to think about how things happened and how things grew. And it's because people worked with people they knew, right?
Exactly.
So the white community worked with people they knew, other white people. Black people need to come. What happens is we get turned down, or we get the no, and we walk away, and we're discouraged. And then we walk about that, right?
Yeah.
And what we need to do is find the people that are going to get us through the door.
Okay.
Right. So work with people,
Okay.
or work with us and and we will get you to people we know.
Exactly.
And that's how we're going to grow.
Yeah.
We have to grow. I mean, I'm not saying that these problems exist. They absolutely exist.
Yeah.
They've been around for years.
Yeah.
But you asked me how my career grew, because I found people I knew, and I had them go out there and advocate for me.
Now,
right?
what is who
and
you know.
They got me through that door. And then I needed to work my buns off while I was in there. And I needed to look behind me and pull the person behind me up with me. Right. So it is a chain reaction. And we have to continue to do that. And eventually, I see a dream. I feel like I'm Martin Luther King at the moment. But I see a dream that they won't be Fortune 500 companies, because they won't know how to categorize us. There will be so many of us in the industry.
Yeah.
That is what I'm hoping for, is because we've helped so many people come up, that's, as folks, we've looked back, brought our folks up, and had that generational wealth. And we're able to make the decisions without asking anybody else but the people we know.
Yeah. Oh, well, you guys got something going up, because today is what, the 29th? You guys got something coming up pretty soon. You guys told me about that. You want to go ahead and give a shout out about that? Some information about your upcoming event?
Yes.
Yes. Did you want to talk about it, Lisa? We're so excited about it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go for it.
I'm like, woohoo! We have the Black Owned Business Excellence Symposium. It's coming on February 1st.
Okay.
And it's on social media right now. We have it out there available. I'm going to find the link. I can put it in the chat. But if you can put that out there, it's a free all-day symposium. You basically have one link to get in, and you have access to a wealth of knowledge, of information. Like I said, I'm doing one on capital readiness. We have Roy Clay. Thank you, Alyssa, for putting that in. We have Roy Clay, who's going to be the keynote speaker. He was the inventor of the first computer. He's known as the godfather of Silicon Valley. He's coming and talking with his family. We have mayors that are going to be there. We have so many dignitaries, but we also have folks that are there to help you get those answers, or get access to not only funding, but different ways to support your business. So all those things we talked about today, it's going to be hosted in that meeting. So it's a one-stop shop, get it all.
Okay.
It will be recorded, but you should come to it live. And then we have an after party that's going to be happening at the end. So very exciting.
What's going to happen at the after party, Toraya? Do you want to say?
Go ahead.
No, I'll leave that one to you.
Well, if you are an established business, and you have a business, what's the word? I'm losing it, Toraya. Have a business
UBI number, or
UBI, yes.
Yeah.
So if you have a UBI number, then you will be one of many who are entered into the opportunity to win money grants.
Whoa, that's good. Money, dollars.
But you have to stay. You have
bills.
to be registered. You have to have a UBI, and you have to stay until the end.
Okay.
Or, you can pepper yourself in and come and join at the end. But 4:00 is the happy hour, so you can win some money.
Good. Definitely, because I know a lot of people right now might watch this. They may always been on the borderline, like I want to start my own stuff. So it'd be a good event that they can come and like, hey, get a little bit of encouragement. Cause I'm pretty sure like a lot of people they've always been on the borderline in the back of their mind. Maybe I should start my own kind of thing, but they were nervous. Didn't like old saying goes, you got a lot of questions. You don't want to sound stupid or nothing like that, but you don't know who to ask. So I'm glad that you guys got an organization and people that people can sit back and come to and ask those kind of questions. They always had stuff they thought about but didn't want to look stupid asking. And they somebody always been on the borderline. Hey, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should go ahead and try to do my own damn thing and make some money in myself. And that's really great that you guys got these great organizations that you guys are working for. You guys are kind of reach out to the black community because I'm trying to put some dollars in some brothers' hands. I ain't gonna lie. I sit back. I'm unapologetic about it. I'm trying to lift black folks up. White folks been getting their stuff. I'm trying to get some too. you know,
Well,
I ain't gonna be shy about that. We've been working our ass off for a long time. Want to try to get our foot in the door and try to do our own thing. Cause they out there doing their thing. Ain't no reason why we can't do our thing.
and I think that I think you're absolutely right about getting that money in the hands.
Uh
And
huh.
one of the slides that I had in my presentation is access to 20 different grants that are out there.
Uh huh.
So I have a way to get you to them so that you can apply. We at GSBA have a Ready for Business grant. We give $2,500 out.
Uh huh.
We did 63 of them
Uh huh.
last year and 50 the year before. So we have that come out about March, April. It's a very simple application,
Uh huh.
2 questions besides your entity questions. And so there are opportunities out there for folks to get funding.
Okay.
Again, you got to come through the door
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
know where the money is,
Uh huh.
right? And so we do have it out there. And then Scale Up is another training course that you could be a part of, and I'm an instructor for them as well, and it's free for now.
All
The Department
right.
of Commerce is funding them, and that's in a more intense. It's an 8-week course. So there are opportunities out there. It's just a
Okay.
matter of getting connected to the people that can get you that next step up.
All right.
Exactly.
Good. Good.
Exactly. I mean, for us, at Business Impact Northwest, we have programs like Launch and Grow, which we have 15 happening this year, so folks can understand the steps to launching it and starting their business. We also have cost share opportunities where it's like there's some where you're able to pay some money and then upfront and then get money back after you've attended the classes. So that might be an accounting class or
Mm.
marketing class that we have coming up. So very specific if you are just needing a little refresher or needing some extra knowledge. And but like Toraya said, you just have to walk through the door. And for the Black owned business excellence, you don't have to walk through the door. You just click on it and just join.
All
And
right.
everybody's coming to you.
Right. Sweet. Well, man, well, thanks a lot. You guys have been really great guests on my show, and I definitely want to go ahead and get this out. Definitely want to go ahead and attend that. You guys, the shindig that you guys are having, want to go ahead and reach out to the black community. And man, thanks a lot. You guys have really been great guests, and they've been working with me for the last past week and a half to make this happen. And again, one more again, thanks a lot for being on my show. And this is Blaine Perry from That Ain't Black and That Ain't Black Podcast.com. And if you want to be a part of my show, go ahead and reach out to me. That ain't black podcast at Gmail, and you can go ahead and tell your thing on my show. And I want to get black folks into the highlight and tell them that we do a lot more than rapping, dancing, and playing basketball. And so much thanks a lot, ladies, for being on my show.
Well, thank you, Blaine.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.